Welcome to 12 Days of Crocheted Ornaments, where every single day I take you through how to crochet a different ornament off of this tree, and this is day 8. If you want more information about this series, I have a kickoff video on my page, and all the previous crocheted ornament videos are also located on my page or on my 12 Days of Crocheted Ornament playlist. If you are enjoying this series, I ask you as always, please do these things because it helps me continue to make content like this. It helps me pay for yarn. It helps me pay for things like the tree, my time, the internet that I use to upload all this stuff. I really appreciate it. Now for day 8, we're going to be making one of my favorites, which is mini Christmas sweater ornaments, and you really can take these in any direction you want. This is a cardigan version. This one is made with granny clusters. You could put like some felt decor on it and make like a little Christmas tree. And then you have this one here in the back. You can do any stitch you would use on like a regular sweater, you can try out on these. So first, let's see what materials we're gonna need. So you're going to see me showing you what supplies we need in this view, and then you're going to get taken to, it's actually an older tutorial of mine, but it's still very valid. I started making it, the tutorial again, and then I was like, that's silly and a waste of time. So let's get to it. You're going to need whatever kind of yarn you want. You could do multicolor, you could do different ribbing than sweater, you could do stripes, whatever brings you bliss. You're going to need a 3.5 millimeter hook. You're going to need a darning needle for sewing the sweater up together, and then you're going to need some scissors and whatever other embellishments you're interested in. What you're going to do is make a slip knot with a nice long tail so you can use that to sew up your sweater later on. And then we are going to chain 1, 2, 3, and skipping that first loop, you're going to do a slip stitch and then another slip stitch and chain 1, turn your work, and then you're just going to repeat that. So skipping that first chain 1 that you did, you're going to do a slip stitch and another slip stitch. And you're going to repeat this for 3 inches. And there we have 3 inches of our ribbing. And for the purposes of this sweater, I am going to switch colors here, but obviously you are designing your beautiful sweater ornament. Follow your own heart. This sweater here was done with single crochets. For this one, I'm going to be using half double crochets just because I want it to look a little bit chunkier. But as you've seen, I have done single crochets, I have done half double crochets, I have done granny clusters, I have done waffle stitches, I have done, if you name a stitch that you could do on a regular sweater, and you could probably do it on a mini crochet sweater. So I am just going to chain another one onto there, and then this is where I'm going to start to work up instead of sideways. So this is where we chain into these little loops here. And I am going to be doing doubles in most of them. So that means that's 1 in that same loop. I am going to do another one because this is going to give it a baggier, more oversized feel. If you need a certain amount of stitches in order to do a crochet stitch that you want to do, this is your opportunity to achieve however many stitches you want. So I'm putting 2 into each of these little gaps that we left. So I've worked my way across and I now have 20 half double crochet stitches. So I'm going to chain 2, flip my work, and I am going to work up this until I get to the part where I want to indent for where the armhole is going to be. So you're going to work up until the entire piece, ribbing included, measures 2 inches. And we have gotten up to 2 inches, so we're at the point where we want to dip in a little bit to make room for the armhole. So what I'm going to do is I chained 1, and now in the next, I'm going to slip stitch the next 3 stitches. And then I chained 2 just so we can get back up to height, because this is where we're going to start working our piece up again. And we are going to do our half double crochets across until we get to the last 3 stitches. So we have 3 stitches left in a row. Instead of continuing to work, we are going to chain 2,
flip our work and work back. So like I said, we can work up the back of the sweater. And you're gonna work up until your piece, including the ribbing, is 3 inches. Okay, so we have gotten up to 3 inches, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our little divot here for the back. So we chained up 2. Now we are going to do 5 double crochet or half double crochets, and I have 14 stitches left here, so what I'm doing is I'm splitting it. We're going to do 5 half double crochets, we're going to slip 4, and then we're going to do 5 half double crochets. But you're just going to, depending on how many stitches you have, just evenly break out so you have your 2 shoulders and your slight bit in the middle here for your neck. So that was 1, 2, and 5. And now we are going to fix our tangled yarn. And now we are going to slip 4 stitches. And then you're going to, it's nice to chain one there just to get you back up to height. And then you're going to do the rest in half double crochets to match the rest of your pattern. And there you have the back panel of your little mini crochet sweater. So we are going to snip that, and then we are going to repeat that whole process again. We are just going to stop a little bit shy of that 3-inch mark, probably up to like 2 3/4 of an inch, so we can give ourselves a bigger divot for our neckline. So I will see you here when I have the front piece. And through the magic of television, I have made our front piece. And like I said, I've stopped right before I had started the little divot on the back. So we're a row down from where we did that one. And we're going to do the same thing that we did for the back piece. We're just going to do it twice. So we are going to do our 5 half double crochets, then we are going to slip stitch for 4, and then we're going to do 5, and then we're going to repeat that again. So there is our first row, and there we have our second row. Now if you wanted to crochet 5 and then cut, and then crochet 5 and then cut, and so that you didn't do the slip stitches, you could, but for me that's more end weaving than I care to do for such a small project. So next you're going to sew up the sides and these 2 top pieces to each other, leaving this open, and then we're going to work on our sleeves. So we have sewn up the sides and the shoulders, and now we're going to get started on the sleeves. First thing we're going to do is make 1 3/4 of an inch of our same crocheted ribbing. And in my instance, I'm going to then attach my new color, and I am going to do my row in the top here. And what I'm going to do is, instead of doing 2 into every single gap here, I'm going to do 1 and then 2 and then 1 and then 2, because I don't want it to be as bulky as the body is. So now I have 10 half double crochet stitches, and I'm going to work up until the piece is 2 inches. So we have crocheted for 2 inches, and now we're going to start doing the decreases for the actual shoulder area. So for this stitch, I'm going to do a decrease at the end of the beginning and the end of each row. Keep in mind, if you have a different stitch, if your stitch has a different height, then you might have to adjust that accordingly. But also keep in mind that no one's going to be wearing this, so if it doesn't fit perfectly, as long as it looks right, you're aces. So I've decreased at the beginning and the end of this row, and I'm going to do that 2 more times. So there we have our completed sleeve, and once again, through the magic of television, we have a second one that I made in the exact same way. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to sew this up till we get to the portion where we started to decrease, and then we are going to attach it to the body. The way that I like to do it is I will turn this, so this is inside out, this is outside in. So these are both turned so they are the correct side out, both the sleeve and the sweater. And because this piece is so tiny, I actually like to start this like this. I'll just lay where this bottom seam is against this bottom seam, and I will just put in a few stitches to attach them. And then I will turn this inside out and finish it up that way. This just helps me get this placed correctly on here. And there we have both of our sleeves attached, and now is a great opportunity to add any other embellishments, like outlining your color in a little bit of white or another color. And I hope it goes without saying on this that you're really only limited by your imagination. Obviously, there's a ton of different styles you can do, different colors. I'm definitely going to be doing a cat stitch sweater version to match our cat stitch sweaters. If you have not seen my cat stitch sweater video, you should go check